The market today, I do earrings. Let me see, show you a little bit. I do sell earrings. I'm at the market. But I wanted to talk about domestic violence because that is what I do. I'm a domestic violence advocate. October is Domestic Violence Month. And I wanted to remind those who are going through domestic violence that there is help. I wanted to remind whoever is going through domestic violence in America, especially, there are laws that protect you. Whether you have papers or whether you don't have papers, you are protected. The reason why I have to talk about domestic violence, especially, is because right now with online dating, there is a lot of women coming to America, very naively coming and not realizing that sometimes whoever they met online could start abusing them once they get to the country. So and also it's just not somebody they meet or American. It could also be a Kenyan who brings you as a husband here in America. Many women are stuck in abusive relationships because they are scared. You find that a husband goes, a fellow Kenyan or a fellow Nigerian or anybody will go and bring a wife here, and maybe bring somebody that they know, their former friend, their former girlfriend, or some former schoolmate, or just somebody they meet. And because they are from the same country, you tend to trust that person. You trust the a boy who you knew in high school to bring you to America, and once they bring you to America, you expect them to protect you. The problem is that sometimes these men, you don't know them, and then later they start abusing you. So a lot of women, they're being abused by people they know already or they knew for years. They bring them here to America and then they start abusing them. What is abuse? Sometimes the reason why they go through those abuses is because they don't even know what abuse is. They think that it's normal because in their countries it goes on and nobody does anything. Or maybe they watch their parents go through abuse, and nobody, and they didn't think that it was abuse. So one example I'm gonna give you is that if somebody brings you to America and they don't want you to work, they don't allow you to they don't allow you to do to drive, they start controlling you because they are doing for you papers. That is abuse. Abuse does not have to be physical. Sometimes it is emotional. And let me tell you, emotional abuse is worse than physical abuse, because emotional takes away everything. It lowers your self-esteem. An example is a girl who is brought here to America. The person has filed for them green card. So once they get here to America, they start using that green card to control them. They tell them, if you do not listen to me, or if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm not going to finish filing for your papers. That is abuse. I want you to know that there is a law in America called VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act, that will protect you. When you file for VAWA, you have to be married legally. That means, and also you have to show that that marriage was in good faith. So my thing also, if you are coming to America, make sure you have information for your husband. Do not just let him, because a lot of husbands will file for papers and not let you know or have the information. They'll tell you, I'm doing it. Make sure you have all his information, all your filing papers, so that when anything goes wrong, you know you have help. And I'm telling you, love goes wrong. Even the best of loves will go wrong. So number one, start protecting yourself from day one, because you don't know this person. Even if you've known them when they were little, you don't know what they can change. So you need to learn to jipange and to protect yourself. And also another thing, I want you to realize that emotional abuse is even refusing to feed you, forcing you to have sex when you don't want to have sex. That is abuse, even though they're your husband. also denying you papers and holding your papers and refusing to file for you. That is abuse. If you're married to legally and married to that person, if they love you, they should not do that to you, and you should know that. I want girls who are coming from Kenya or any country who have met their fiancés online to be very careful. Make sure that you do a thorough investigation on those people. There are women who have been brought here to America as fiancé. The guy comes 2, 4, 5 times and they trust them. Once they come here, they find that they are being trafficked. They're going to be used as sex slaves. They're also going to be used as maids. They're going to be used. So you need to watch those kind of stuff. So, but if you find yourself in that situation, there's the national hotline for domestic violence. You can call that number and get help. So the national hotline for domestic violence, I think, is 1-800-799-7233. You can call that number from anywhere in the United States, and they will find you help around your area. Another advice that I wanted to give anybody who is watching this video today, that if you end up at a relative's house and they're abusing you, there's also help for that. A lot of women are being brought here as maids or even your maids, and you can also get help, because that's also human trafficking, and you need to know that. So how do you protect yourself? Have the number for the 1-800-799-7233 at hand, and also go ahead and develop a safety plan. A safety plan is whereby you start putting your documents if you have kids. And also, do not worry about when you go to the shelter. The shelter is a safe place. This country has developed laws that will protect you, that will make you not be abused. So I want you to know that. Do not be scared if you are supposed to go to the shelter. Many people will say, don't go to the shelter because the shelter, they talk about homeless shelter. Domestic abuse shelters are very different. They are made for women and children, and they have all the resources you will need. If your children need to go to school, they will make sure your children go to school. If you need to get medication, they'll make sure you get medication. So do not suffer in silence. And if you're watching from Africa and you have a relative who is suffering, I need you to call and give them this information so that they can get help. Another reason is, if you're being abused, your husband has started filing for you, and in the middle of it they stop and they start using it to control you. That is abuse. You can get your papers, okay? And I want you to know that there is help. This is something that we need to say. It is Domestic Violence Month. We need to speak about domestic violence. We need to be out there talking about domestic violence. We need to shout out about domestic violence. Slapping you even one time is not an excuse. Taking your driver's license, hiding stuff from you, stopping to do your immigration papers halfway, all those is domestic abuse. And you will get your papers. How does VAWA work? When you file for VAWA, all they need to prove is that you're married, and they need to prove your abuse. They need to prove that you are married legally. That means make sure that you are married legally. If you're not married legally, there's also another option. There's also trafficking. If that guy brought you here and is using you as a slave, there's also that part that you can also file for paper. And also, you can go to the shelter whether you have papers or not. They will still help you. I want you to note that. And I will do in these videos every Saturday to make sure that I shout, I say it, and you guys are able to know, they get the information. Otherwise, Adipa, speak up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also share these videos, whether it's on TikTok. Share this video so that your family and people can get this information. Thank you.